Arlette Saenz joins us, ABC News correspondent in Washington. Good morning, Arlette. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, McGraw.
All right, so the Congress is back, and believe it or not, tax cuts are the fifth or sixth thing they have to get done by the end of the year. What's going on?
I mean, I think that they're trading in their plates from Thanksgiving over for a full legislative plate now. And first up is taxes. The Senate's expected to vote on a tax measure this week, but it's unclear if Senate Republicans have the votes to even pass the package. They can only afford to lose 2 votes, and right now there's more than a handful of senators who have expressed concerns about it. Now, on top of all of this, the president wants to sign a tax measure by Christmas, but government funding expires on December 8th, so they just have 2 work weeks to try to hammer that out. Plus, they want to pass funding for a health insurance program for lower-income children, and there are some up here on Capitol Hill who want to find an immigration fix for those DACA recipients. So a very, very jam-packed and crowded agenda for lawmakers as they return to the Hill today.
All right, they have to. What are the odds? Well, let's ask this question. What are the odds of a government shutdown December 8th?
Well, I think that lawmakers want to do everything they can to try to avoid a shutdown. And oftentimes what you see happen as you get closer to the holidays is that they decide to maybe do a short-term extension, pushing this into the new year. So we'll see if that's something that they're going to try to hammer out in the coming days. No one wants a government shutdown, and if that is what ends up happening, lawmakers will have to answer to their constituents back home.
Yeah. What about the debt ceiling? Do they have to raise the debt ceiling, or are we okay there?
They actually don't have to raise the debt ceiling. That's another issue that normally comes up around the holidays, but they dealt with that earlier in the year, so that's not on what they have in their crowded plate. Gotcha.
Are they going to have time to, what's the sticking point on the tax bill? Because it sounds like there's still negotiating deals in the back room.
Well, there's basically a few buckets of people who are voicing concern. You have the senators like Senator Collins and Senator Moran who don't want to see the individual mandate repeal as part of this plan. They think that needs to be dealt with separately. Then there's another bucket who thinks that this bill disadvantages small businesses. There's talk of making some changes to the Senate measure in order to please those senators. And then there's others who, like Senator Jeff Flake and Senator Bob Corker, 2 people to watch very closely, who are concerned about what this is going to mean for the federal deficit. And remember, Flake and Corker are 2 people who are retiring at the end of this congressional year in 2018. So those 2 votes will be very, very key to watch.
Let's talk about John Conyers for just a moment. I know he's stepping down from his committee assignments, but the reports are that he's showing up to events in his pajamas, and he's found himself rambling. They're sort of floating the idea that he is not doing very well in terms of his mental health.
Well, there have been some reports, as you mentioned, about some of the experiences in his office. But look, yesterday he said he's stepping aside from the House Judiciary chairmanship. Leader Pelosi has been speaking with him over the holiday break, but he has shown no sign of wanting to step down from his seat. He is denying the allegations that have been made against him and wants to see this play its course. But certainly his colleagues up here are going to have to answer questions about whether they think he should continue to serve. And also there's still that larger conversation about sexual harassment up here on Capitol Hill that's finally playing out in public, and also talks of trying to reform the process with which staffers can report sexual harassment allegations.
Yeah, that's a whole other set of issues we haven't even gotten to. Arlette Saenz, ABC News correspondent in Washington, D.C. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks for having me.